folks. Have a great, wonderful Monday, and we will see you tomorrow.
Let's go, Manchester.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
You are listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA.
Listen, thanks for doing this interview. I know it's not your typical style.
Absolutely.
Have you ever met a gay person before?
I deal better with regular people.
We are back, and joining me now is the worst thing to happen to Disney since the It's a Small World ride, and the most boring, Governor Ron DeSantis.
Welcome to the free state of Florida.
Okay, let's cut the shit. Governor, you go by so many nicknames. Which do you prefer I call you? Ron DeSanctimonious? Meatball Ron? Dull as dishwater DeSantis? Trump Light, Little Ronnie Pudding Fingers, Ronald McDoofus? I can continue.
You can call me whatever you want. I mean, just as long as you also call me a winner.
Girl, no. You have become quite a star, my friend, using your evil to turn back time and make your state an unsafe place for so many.
That's just what I do.
Well, I guess my question is, are you ready to do it on a national scale?
Absolutely.
Do you have what it takes, Governor, to snatch Donald Trump's $5 weave and steal the MAGA base?
I think the country wants a change. I think they want a fresh start in a new direction.
Ron DeSantis, has fame gone to your head and made you wacky? Fresh and new is yesterday's vibe. Who needs cultural advancement, diversity, compassion, or Trixie Mattel? This country's in a slow-burning Uber X headed right back to the dark ages. And baby, you're just the heartless autocratic wannabe to drive us there. Hey MAGA, y'all take note. He's the Trump alternative who wants your vote. Hey Donald, get in line. There's a fresh new fascist trying to steal your shine. So let's go make liberal unlawful. Bid all drag shows and freedoms farewell. Say hello to a new kind of awful. Hey girl, it's time to drag this country straight to hell. Hey MAGA, welcome to DeSantis. could be your future, and it's awfully grim. Here comes our hero of the culture war, and he's got his eye on 2024. Sorry, Joe, take a token, start drinking. Look out for the most boring new right-wing creep, cause he's over that woke forward thinking. So he's come to put the country back to sleep. And I go, welcome to DeSantis. Oh, 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 oh. No, thank you, no, no. Welcome to the bigoted old-timey days, where we ban all the books and we hate all the gays. Brace yourself for major small energy, cause it's time for a tyrant like Bonnie D. Eyes to wife and children when DeSantis runs, cause our lives are secondary to the damn guns. Let's go retrogress to 1953. Last call for all your bodily autonomy. Sit back, relax, and listen to him spit and spew his conservative view. The race, feed the base, which is all they do. Hey, Ronnie, full of hate. You're the Chevy Stalin of the Sunshine State. Nobody likes you cause you're harsh and mean. Even Mickey Mouse is like, oh, this queen. But say no, no, no immigration. Put an end to those pesky old human rights, cause we know that he'll fight for our nation till at last it's safe for wealthy Christian whites. Finally, hey MAGA, welcome to DeSantis. Oh, 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 oh. MAGA, welcome to DeSantis.
We will never ever surrender to the woke mob.
Ronnie, go, go, go. Ronnie, gay, gay, gay. Thank you, no, no, no.
I have fought the good fight.
No, no, no. Oh, mama. No, no, no.
Okay, bring it on.
Girl, no.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Here we go. Happy Monday. It is Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Monday, May 15, 2023, and I'm not alone. Jenny is here at the news desk.
I am present, yes.
Yes.
For today. For today I am
yes,
present.
That's right.
I shall not be present tomorrow.
That's right, yes. Well, we'll talk about that. By the way, that song that we opened with, Welcome to DeSantis, that is the new Randy Rainbow song. Love Randy Rainbow. And what I also love is when, you know, I have to, when he has a new song that, I don't play all of them that he releases, because sometimes, you know, the videos that go with them are really, really cool. But sometimes it's almost so much more of a visual experience that it's like without the video, sometimes the song doesn't quite work. But in this case, it did. But the video is great too. But what I particularly loved about this one was I only had to bleep a couple of things when I make a radio edit of it so I can play it on the air.
Yeah.
Because I usually realize at the last minute as we're about to go on the air that, oh, there's a new Randy Rainbow song. But I only had to put a couple, and actually in both instances they were things that I probably could have let slip through and wouldn't have been a problem. They were sort of in the gray zone of bad words. There's some that are obvious, and then there's some that are kind of in the gray zone. But you know, it is afternoon drive, of course. It's not like we're on in the evening, so it's like, better to play it safe. But but that was a quick, easy edit.
That one was funny.
You know,
that one was really funny.
Yes, I enjoyed that tremendously. Coming up in the second hour today, we have Frankie Boy and the Blues Express. Do I have the name correct?
Yes.
It's a long name.
Yes.
They're going to be coming in studio. They're going to play. They're going to play live for us in the second hour. So
gonna do it live.
Really looking forward to that. Yes. So
I am too. This is a busy week for you.
Yes.
Very busy
We've got a lot going on tomorrow. We have Oberon. Am I saying the name correctly?
Yes.
Band from
Italy.
Italy Skyping in. I was playing some of their music earlier. Might play something of theirs at the break today, actually, because we don't have any studio tracks from Frankie Boy because they're going to come in and play live for us. But I do have studio tracks for Oberon. I really like them.
I do too.
And then in the second hour, we have Frank Laffey. Is that his name?
Yes.
Now, where is he from?
I forget.
Yeah, but he's
you just asked me that.
Oh, that's
I'm a
okay.
terrible person.
That's all right. But he is a candidate of sorts.
He is a candidate for president.
He's running for president. He's a Republican,
he is
right?
The former mayor of Cranston.
Well,
Rhode Island.
Is that
Republican? Yes.
That's the last office he held, was mayor of Cranston?
He served as mayor of Cranston from 2003 to 2007.
So he's doing a Mayor Pete. He's trying to go right from mayor to president.
I think so.
Except he's a Republican, so he probably is. That's probably the only thing he has in common with Mayor Pete.
He's a graduate of Harvard Business School.
But he is. So he is in the race. So I must remember when I mention some of Trump's competitors, if you will, like Ron DeSantis and Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, potentially Mike Pence. Ron DeSantis is technically still potential. I should also mention this gentleman's name, Frank Laffey.
Yes.
Or we will see. We will see after our...
it's easy to be a candidate in New Hampshire.
We'll see after our discussion tomorrow if he is worthy of me mentioning him in the conversation after that. We'll see. What is going on? Oh, sorry.
What?
There was some extraneous audio there that started that I did not anticipate. But no, I look forward to meeting him. The last time I talked to a Republican presidential candidate who was challenging Trump for the nomination was, of course, what the hell's his name now? The kooky guy there.
Boot on the head?
No, that's Vermin Supreme. No, he's a senior with the secret documents. The guy with the secret documents.
The weird guy that walked in in the middle of live broadcasting.
Yeah, he had a history of doing that.
Yeah.
Stephen Comley Sr.
Oh.
Stephen Comley Sr.
I don't know that I put this guy in that category.
Well, who knows? I mean, I might meet him tomorrow, and who knows? But no, from what you showed me of him online, he seems more conventional, shall we say. But yeah, Stephen Comley Sr., now he was into secret documents before we even knew that this was a thing. Newer listeners won't know the history, but Stephen Comley Sr. used to come on the show. He'd been on a number of times. I actually like the guy personally. But he came in with an envelope, actually 2 envelopes of secret documents pertaining to the Seabrook nuclear power plant. One envelope was for myself, which, as you know, to this day I sleep with under the pillow. To protect the secret documents.
Do not.
Of course I do. And you never know. He might be listening. I don't want him to send somebody after me if he thinks that the secret documents have been, dispersed in some way. And of course, the other envelope of secret documents was for Peter White, of course, host of the morning show with Peter White.
He put them in the circular file.
Well, from what I understand, he filed them promptly somewhere no one will ever go looking for them. So perhaps he was the wiser of the two of us. And I believe Easy G is on the line. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello. I remember the story. They're deposited in the circular file.
Yes. Now, do you... Now, what about your friend Bruce? Would you trust him with secret documents? Because I absolutely would not.
I don't know about that one. But I have a feeling that you deposited them in the circular file too there, Matt.
No, I actually did not.
That was years ago. Come on.
Okay, I don't really sleep with them under my pillow, but I do think they might be. I do think they might be in my office somewhere.
But I'm embarrassed to admit that I voted for that dummy because I was going to vote for that other dummy in Hawaii, but I didn't change my my voting, and you can't do that at the polling place. So I said, well, who can I vote for? And I said, I guess I'll vote for that guy. And
he's a nice man.
That was dumb.
He's a nice man. He's just a little confused.
This is a dumb move. I should have voted for somebody else. I should have voted for Donald Duck.
I do have a great memory of him, though. It was, and it really had more to do with Peter than with him, because it was when we did the primary coverage, so that it was Peter, myself, and some other people. And when it was time for the 2020 New Hampshire primary, and Stephen Comley Sr. comes and sits down with us. And Peter was doing something. He was trying to fix something technical
Right.
For almost the entire time that Stephen Comley was there. And so I'm sitting there with the guy talking to him, and the entire time I'm like watching Peter out of the corner of my eye because I'm trying to figure out if he was legitimately trying to fix something, or if he was just avoiding having to interact with Mr. Comley, because I don't think Peter found him as engaging as I did. But it turned out.
Yeah, I think the last time he called the show, he said, "Well, I'm kind of doing my show right now. Can you call me back?" And it's like, yeah, I don't think he was a big fan of that guy.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, it turned out.
Not that I want to speak for Peter or anything, but
no.
I think I figured that out over the years.
Well, because I asked Peter afterward, and in fact, I think I asked him right on the air. I said, "Were you really trying to fix that whole time, or were you just avoiding him?" And no, it turned out he actually was legitimately trying to fix something. He wasn't. He was not.
All right.
He was not avoiding Mr. Comley. Had he intentionally avoided Mr. Comley, he might have missed out on that manila envelope of secret documents.
Yeah, I think more pressing us is that thing about the debt limit. That's a little more important than Stephen Conley. Oh my God,
that is extraordinarily
they get their act
important.
together here, you know.
Yes.
The clock is ticking. I think eventually they will, but until they do, well, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I hope so. There's only like 4 working days left where both the House and Senate are in session. Yeah, this is pretty nuts. I think I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic.
4 days to the end of the month.
4 working days where both I believe where both the House and Senate are in session unless they do something.
Oh my God!
Now they could do a last.
Well, they better figure this out soon. Then
they're not going to go without.
They could do. They could do a last-minute temporary suspension of the debt ceiling. They've done that before. As like a last-minute thing. They could also, I was telling Jenny on the way here, Sam Cedar of the Majority Report is absolutely convinced that this is all a non-issue. Not that it wouldn't be catastrophic to default. It absolutely would. But he's convinced that Biden can invoke the 14th Amendment. Apparently, Lawrence Tribe wrote a column talking about that, saying that there would be absolutely no problem.
What's the 14th Amendment? What is that?
So the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, it addresses a number of things, but one of them is that the United States, well, unfortunately, it doesn't say this quite clearly. It's a little murky, but it seems to imply, this is why it would be a constitutional crisis. It seems to imply that the United States government cannot default. So if that's true, then the debt ceiling is unconstitutional, and therefore it can be ignored. If Biden chooses to go that route, the only problem is it would likely be challenged in court. But Sam Cedar says it's that's nonsense. But I hope we don't have to find out.
Oh, I know. That'd be good. Obviously, that would be very, very bad. Obviously.
Probably be the end of the American economy as we know it. And I don't, I wish.
I know. It would,
yeah.
I think eventually they're going to figure out, but couldn't they pass some kind of law that they don't have to do this anymore? Always play this game of, maybe we'll default, maybe we won't. Couldn't they pass a law saying,
even Mitch
this don't happen anymore?
Even Mitch McConnell has in the past suggested that. Just get rid of the damn thing.
Wouldn't that be easy enough?
Yes, it would. It would be very wise. It's
you can worry about other problems.
So we don't have to have this artificially created crisis every couple of years. Yes, that would be the wise thing.
Right, and you said that when Donald Trump was president, he tried to fix it, right? Didn't he try to fix that mess with the debt limit?
It's not that he tried to fix it. When Trump was president, the debt limit was raised 3 times, and Trump was, to his credit at the time, Trump was very clear and consistent on this, that we do not use the debt limit as a negotiating wedge ever. It's reckless and stupid and much too dangerous, and we don't do it. Unfortunately, during his town hall on CNN, he announced his new position, which is, default probably won't happen because the Democrats will cave, but if it does, that's fine. Probably better to just go ahead and default. It'll be bad for a day or a week, and then who knows? It's probably fine. It's all psychological anyway. That's his new position, which is
that's very bad.
I don't that might be a bigger disqualifier than January 6th in terms of his being elected president, in terms of his fitness for the presidency, in my view.
It's like a nuclear war. They Russia sends one here, we send one there, and it's like that's not good either because that's pretty much the end of times.
Yes, well, we're on the verge of an economic Armageddon of sorts. Yes, very exciting. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's certainly not good. If that was to happen, and that would under Biden's watch, he would he'd be in a lot of trouble.
Well, let's look at it this way. We had a good run, a good couple hundred years of America. We'll just Rome has to fall at some point. We'll just go ahead and drive the car off the cliff, like Thelma and Louise.
Well, look at Russia there with that war now. They've destroyed their economy. That's for sure.
There's a lot of mixed reporting on that.
Oh, really? All right. Well, this default wouldn't help anybody anywhere.
Correct.
Especially us.
Correct. Yes.
I don't think it's going to happen, by the way, but the
Chinese
would love
it.
Very they're making everybody nervous for nothing, really.
Oh, Melanie La Liberty in the chat room is asking, have they tried throwing a virgin into a volcano to fix the budget? Just saying it's worth a try. That would be, I will say this, that would be very patriotic for said virgin to make such a sacrifice as that to save the economy of the country. I would applaud that.
Yeah. So let's hope for the best. And
do we have a volcano?
Get their act together. We're only 4 days left and working the rest of the month.
We had them.
Yeah, they better get their act together because, like you said, that would be the worst.
Is there a volcano in Hawaii?
Definitely dive.
It would have to be an active volcano,
There's
right?
There's a number of them in Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think it'll eventually get resolved, but they probably wait till the last minute like they're doing all this crazy world of politics.
Greece has got them.
Yeah, I think it would have to be an American volcano.
Oh.
All right, that's my 2 cents. We'll talk to you guys later.
We'll throw Bruce in. All right, thanks, EZG.
I got something to say about the debt.
Bruce is a virgin. I'm sorry, yes, go ahead.
You're horrible.
Bruce,
you're just an evil dude.
Bruce is
you.
Bruce is an incel. No one wants to say it, but there it is. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Oh my God, an incel. Must be hanging out with Steven Crowder. What I wanted to say about the debt limit is that jeez. What I wanted to say about the debt limit is that I'm really sick and tired of listening to Republicans. I'd like them to actually walk the walk that they're talking about. Because, they love to constantly say, we're not going to vote in favor of the debt limit until we see some spending cuts. Well, why in the heck did they never come from them, right? Why am I not hearing Congress go, gee, we need to make sure that nobody's Social Security checks don't get out and our military don't get out, so we'll cut our salary. Or how about cutting their Cadillac health insurance, right? How about cutting that? They never offer up themselves to make a cut. You're all about cutting the budget here, buddies. Well, let's cut the budget. Let's start with you.
Well, there's a lot of blame to go around too, because I was thinking about. I don't remember if I said this specifically on the show, but I think I got into it a little bit. But on the as far as the Democrats go, they passed all this new spending, and some of it I think is important. It's hard to argue against infrastructure and things like that, and some of it maybe not so much because there's pork in there. There always is, but. For them to pass all this new spending that they've passed under Biden, like the Inflation Reduction Act and so forth, to do all this, and not even try when they had control to do something about the debt limit. I don't even mean get rid of it. They could have raised it then ahead of time. I understand. They don't. I guess Democrats can't see around corners very well.
I have no idea what their issue is.
Because, geez, with the Dobbs decision, like we knew way in advance because of that draft document that leaked out of the Supreme Court. But they can't be bothered to actually do anything until reality shows up on their doorstep. So with this, it's like they pass all this spending, and I guess it doesn't occur to anybody. Maybe we should raise the debt limit now, because if the Republicans are in control, all this new spending we passed is either going to have to get pulled in order for them to pay the debt, for them to raise the debt limit, or we're going to have a problem. There's no excuse for the Democrats not to have seen all of this coming, and they should have addressed it. And I understand, they're probably going, oh, well, then we have to convince Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, and that's really hard. But this is just as much their fault. They should not have allowed any of this to come to pass. But we do have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hello, is this Matt's Pizza?
I know. For it to be
I like one large pepperoni pizza, extra pepperoni and extra cheese, please.
Oh, that does sound good. I'd like that too.
I kind of like. I could get a pizza for us tonight.
Mm.
Want to have pizza for dinner?
Yeah, it's good. How much?
How much? Depends.
You get a cheap one and just doctor it up.
I think they're like $2 at Little Caesars.
That's really cheap.
How we get Hawaiian too? One large Hawaiian, extra the pineapple.
We'll throw it in the volcano with the Virgin.
No, I love the pineapple.
Yes.
And the
yes.
pepperoni. But we were talking about
thank you. I'll
serious
pick up
issues.
later.
Okay. Well, very nice.
And now we have pizza. Now I want pizza.
No, I'm all hungry.
A pepperoni and pineapple pizza.
No.
Yes.
That's disgusting. How dare you?
Yum.
How dare you?
Ooh, I'll have to get some pineapple when you go to the grocery store to go on to pizza.
What I always say is this. If you're going to have a pizza, you should only have delicious toppings. You should not put any disgusting toppings on it. If you put disgusting toppings on the pizza, it makes the pizza disgusting. If you want the pizza to be delicious, you have to stick with delicious toppings. What do I know? I mean, I don't cook, as you know, but I think I heard Chef Gordon Ramsay say that once. The pizza should only have delicious toppings. Never put anything disgusting on your pizza.
Which is why pepperoni belongs there. Now.
Right, it does belong there, yes.
Yeah, on pizza.
Yes.
Yes. Pineapple. So, yeah, back to what we were talking about, though, in all seriousness.
Yeah.
Our congressional critters. There are budgets up the wazoo for these people. They got staff up the wazoo. Cut your staff. We've got little health club pool things, whatever the heck they got. Cut that. Cut things like that don't actually save a life or don't put food on the table. You know? Let's cut that. Why do they never offer up anything like that? The minute they talk about cuts, what do they want to cut? Social Security. What do they want to cut? Veterans Affairs. Because that's the money that gets hung up. That's the money that gets cut.
Yeah.
If they want to cut WIC, which helps pregnant women who they claim to support actually have healthy food. It only covers specific foods. They want to cut that, right? And that's like eggs, milk, butter, not butter. It's all healthy food. You can have carrots, things like that. And then after the baby's born, you can keep eating healthy if you're breastfeeding, or if you're going to go to formula, it switches over and starts covering formula. So this is a basic food item for the baby that they brought every baby into this world, no matter what, even if it's a cell dividing, they want it into this world, but they don't want to feed it. They don't want to feed it. They don't want to give them medical care because we got to cut that too. I mean, I can remember seeing arguments up in Concord on how the state was cutting the local hospitals.
Yeah.
On the money that they get to help pay for the uninsured. The cuts never come from places that don't hurt the average American. It never comes from them.
Well, there are things, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to talk about what you're doing tomorrow before we run out of time, because we do have a guest coming in the second hour.
We do.
But
this is important.
But there are, as far as clawing back some unspent COVID money and things like that, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I'm just worried that the budget, the initial budget, and I understand it's part of a negotiating. It's part of negotiating. You ask for more than you're going to get. The initial budget that the Republicans passed in the House, Moody's Analytics, hardly a liberal operation by any stretch, said that that budget would cost just an enormous. I can't even remember the numbers, but I'm not good at remembering specific numbers. But would do significant damage to the economy. Austerity in and of itself is not the answer necessarily.
I wonder how many people were like me or don't exactly get it, because I didn't exactly get it.
Polling data shows there's a lot of people who don't get it.
When we're talking about this, we're talking about funding the paychecks of our military soldiers. We're talking about Social Security checks. This is the funding we're talking about to raise the debt limit. The debt is the debt owed to the American people that were contracted to the American people. You pay in these taxes, and then you get this back.
Well, part of the reason, and I know I'd mentioned I'd said this on the show recently too, is part of the reason why polling data shows most Americans don't get it. They have no idea. But part of that, I firmly believe this is because Americans have become desensitized. Unless you're really paying attention to the issue and learn about it, people think that, they hear about this stuff and if they're only half paying attention, they think it's just, we're going to have another government shutdown. And government shutdowns actually take a terrible toll on the economy too. But when there's a government shutdown because they can't agree on a budget, it's temporary. Everyone knows it's temporary. It might be a day, it might be a week, it might be a month, but it will end eventually, and the parks will open back, the state parks will open back up again, and this and that. So I think that the average American who's only half paying attention, they're hearing all this and they're like, oh, there's going to be another government shutdown. Whatever, it doesn't really affect me. They have no idea that this is something different because they've become desensitized to this because we've been through so many government shutdowns. They don't know that the debt limit is actually a separate issue and it's far, far more serious.
They think that we're borrowing money in order to fund specific programs, or you want to build a new playground. They think we're borrowing money to do that, or They don't realize that when we talk about it, we're actually talking about basically paychecks of Americans.
Well, but paying for money that's already been spent too.
And when you say that, it means
for bills that have already been
right. We know how many
up.
people are on Social Security. We estimate how much it's going to be next year. We know that the number of people on Social Security disability have increased because people are living longer. People don't die at 40 anymore. People are living to be a centurion isn't unheard of at all anymore. I remember when it was weird to hear somebody living to be 100. Now it's normal. Now it's weird if you hear somebody that's 115 or 116.
I think eventually we'll probably elect a 100-year-old president.
It might be Biden at this rate.
Well, no, he's not that old.
I don't want him to run.
Unless we amend the Constitution.
I don't want either one of them to run. I want new people, fresh blood, new ideas.
No, that's that ship has sailed. We're just going to keep electing older and older people. It's going to be great.
I just want to cry in this moment. That's all I'm going to say.
Someday we're going to have a president who they're going to be giving the State of the Union address while wearing a bib.
Stop it.
It's going to be great.
Stop it.
That's where we're headed. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be wonderful. After we've defaulted on our debt and
nobody gets a check next month. May doesn't have any food.
America's in ruins, and
people on disability
we'll have
getting kicked out of their apartment.
We'll have a 100-year-old president presiding over everything. It'll be great.
Yeah, we'll all be homeless.
Anyway, let's talk about something. Let's talk about something positive. Let's tell us again about what you're doing tomorrow.
I'm going to DC.
Yes,
by invitation, actually. As a lot of our listeners know, and maybe some people out there who don't know, we have been waging a war. A campaign against United Healthcare, my health insurance, to try and get them to cover life-saving, life-important things that I have to have, medications, treatments, things that they just never, ever seem to pay. And you could talk to them till you're blue in the face, but you don't always get anywhere. So I have People's Action, which is a national organization. It encompasses about 40 or so organizations themselves, and New Hampshire Rights and Democracy took up my case and have been fighting for me. And we have had some wins. Mm-hmm. But in doing all of this, there's been some attention brought on to what we're doing. And I've been invited to come out to D.C. and go to Senator Bernie Sanders' town hall on Medicare for All, which is something that I 100% wholeheartedly believe in now. Mm-hmm. But it took me a bit to learn more, to get more information. But what I know for a fact, and I think most Americans would probably agree, is the American healthcare system is in dire straits and needs some serious changing. I'm personally sick and tired of insurance companies getting in the way of people getting appropriate care. I'm tired of seeing people with CRPS commit suicide because they can't get access to life-saving treatments. I'm done with this. When I was younger, I used to think that we could fix our system. Maybe we could fix the insurances, have a compact. Maybe you could buy health insurance across the state line or something. Can't do that anymore. Medicare for All is really the only way that we're going to have true medical freedom. And the reason I say that is because right now, between you and your doctor is your health insurance company, your private insurance company, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Cigna, Aetna, whatever. There's tons of them out there. And their sole job is to make profit for themselves, profit for their stockholders. My company, United Healthcare, celebrated $8.1 billion in first quarter profits this year. That means 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
First quarter profits means 3 months. January, February, March. They made $8.1 billion with a B dollars. Meanwhile, people like me have their treatments turned down, not covered. I mean, it's disgusting. Medical freedom means that my doctors, my providers, and myself and my family are making the choices for me. What needs to be done gets done. No questions asked. You need this medication, you get that medication.
Mm-hmm.
You got a kid that's got type 1 diabetes, he's got Lancets, he's got a test kit, he's got all the insulin and no rationing. Because even at $35, it's not enough. People are still rationing.
Mm-hmm.
Still rationing. It's disgusting. We live in the country that has arguably some of the best healthcare in the world. People come from everywhere to come here because we have the best medical care you can buy. But as an American
if you can afford it.
If you can afford it.
Right.
Pick any hospital you want, CMC, Elliott, whatever. I guarantee you there are people living in the houses next door to those buildings that are suffering, that are bedbound, that are dying. And the medications or the treatments that could save their lives, give them quality of life, are right in that building, locked behind a key that you can't open unless you got enough money to do it. And that's disgusting. We should be able to do the same thing they do in other countries. They have it. I saw it firsthand in the Netherlands, and it played a big part of showing me a lot of what can happen with a national healthcare system that means nobody gets turned away. I don't care who you are. You show up. You need care. You get the care. You get the best care that American medicine can provide. And we invest our dollars in education so we have more doctors, more nurses, because we're heading into a shortage.
Yeah, that's something that's not getting a lot of attention that should. Especially with nurses, from what I was reading recently.
You know, my entire career, I have heard of the nursing shortage, and every year it gets worse. Every year there's not enough nurses. I've watched it happen. I mean, we don't have enough nursing schools, for one thing. Things have gotten better since the pandemic. There are some more schools. You know, it used to be every hospital pretty much had a nursing program. All of those things shut down. Then there were only certain colleges that have it. So there's only so many places. I mean, I remember when I tried to go to nursing school, I was one of 1,000 applicants and only 100 people made it in. Yeah. And I didn't make the cut. I only scored I think it was an 87 on my entrance exam. Nobody that got in that had less than a 94% unless they fell into a special category.
Yeah.
You know, we have that looming over our heads. What makes a difference between a hospital's level of trauma care is the number of the kind of doctors they have available. You're a trauma center if you have the right doctors available, but what we lack neurosurgeons. That's a big one that keeps hospitals from being able to be trauma level is neurosurgeons. We don't have the education system set up to fill us with the right providers, but we also have a system that's made for profit. It's made for the profit of these private insurance companies. You know, let me share this with you. I am on a medication that I have to use GoodRx in order to afford. I have 5 different pharmacies I've used to get my medications as inexpensively as I can so I can afford them all, you know? This one medication I get using GoodRx at a pharmacy and a grocery store is $48. If I want to use my health insurance, it's $85. I asked my insurance company more than once. I asked for a prior auth. I asked them if they would please change the tier of my medication down one, just one, from a 3 to a 2, and that would make the medication through the insurance company $47, and my money would count towards my deductible. Now, this same insurance company admonished me for using GoodRx. Oh, your money doesn't count for your deductible. But when I asked them to make this adjustment so I can do this, they said no. They'll only let me use it at the $85 marker, and then it'll count towards my deductible. This is about their profits. We got big pharma out there. There's a medication that is making amazing differences for people with rare neurological diseases. People with MS are seeing amazing effects. LDN, low-dose naltrexone. It's amazing what it's doing for these diseases, but they will not cover it. And they say it's because it's on an exclusionary list. Or they'll tell you it's not approved for your disease. In my case, there's not a single treatment approved for my disease. My insurance company uses it as an excuse. This treatment hasn't been approved by the FDA for the treatment of CRPS or small fiber neuropathy. Well, nothing has been approved for the treatment of CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. Nothing. I'm going to get to go to, I know I'm rattling on and I shouldn't. I'm going to get to go to D.C. and I'm going to get to sit on a panel with Senator Sanders, with Representative Jay Paul, and with doctors. And we're going to talk about Medicare for all, a system that would actually be real medical freedom. There wouldn't be anybody making decisions for you. One of the prior ops we put in, I'm on the phone with the girl from the insurance doing it. And she's like, and we're filling out this form together. And she goes, okay. And then she's going, all right, so now I'll send it over and then you'll get a response. She no sooner hit enter. I was still on the phone with her. Did I not immediately get a denial notice?
Yeah.
Because they pulled up, the computer saw the name of the medication and denied it. No human being made that decision.
Right.
Nobody saw that.
Right.
Oh, we spent an hour or so working on this thing, and in 2 seconds, the computer kicked it out and said no. I'm tired of computers and bureaucrats who know nothing about. I have had more conversations that have been frustrating with these people because they don't even know what they're talking about. I'm asking about lymphedema treatment. I'm asking about compression garments, and they're offering me stuff that is sold, at a regular store. It's not even medical grade. It's not even the right thing. It's like, I don't want that. I don't need that. I need what my doctor wants me to have. Well, this is what we have. Well, this is what we have doesn't treat me. And this is what people are going through. I watched recently, there was a story on the news yesterday or the day before. A man got emergently ill. Turned out he had a brain aneurysm that had not ruptured. They were taking him in for surgery, and the insurance company refused to approve it because they said the neurosurgeon was out of network. And the surgery got canceled. Dude's walking around with a ticking time bomb in his head. It took a public outcry to get them to reverse the decision, and a week or so later, they finally did the surgery, and the guy's okay. But they didn't know if he was going to be okay. And the hospital wasn't doing the surgery without payment.
Right.
We shouldn't have that happen. Somebody emergently enters, they need surgery, it should get done. It shouldn't be how much is in your wallet.
Now, is this going to be on C-SPAN or?
It's going to be broadcast I know it's going to be on Senator Sanders' Facebook page.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll go up on his YouTube page. I know it's going to be broadcast by People's Action as well.
Yeah, I called my mom for Mother's Day, and she was asking how to watch it. I told her I'd have to let her know or send her a link afterward, but yeah.
Yeah, the Senator Sanders Bernie Sanders official Facebook page would be the best place to go.
Okay.
The event is going to start about 7:30 tomorrow night. And then I am staying because I will be going up to the Capitol on Wednesday. The Medicare for All bill is going to be introduced, and there will be a press conference after it as well. And this shouldn't be a Democrat or a Republican issue at all. This is a human issue. Think of yourselves, think of your loved ones. If they need emergent surgery, they should be able to have it without question. People shouldn't be going medically bankrupt. How many of us are living in poverty because of medication expenses?
The number one reason for bankruptcies in the United States is medical bankruptcy. It's the number one reason. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
Why would you want the government to pay for Medicare?
It's not the government paying. It's not the government paying in that regard. Now, let me rephrase this. Let me put it to you this way. Right now, the way things work is your doctor says you need X, your insurance has to approve it, and then the hospital would do it. If they don't approve it, you don't get it. Under a national health care system, under a Medicare for All system, if we use Medicare as our starting point, and we develop this USA Medicare, or USA Medical Care, and everybody has a card that guarantees them care. You and I get to make our choices by who provides the care that we like the most or has better services for us instead of shopping for the cheapest. And yes, the money's coming through the Medicare system. It's coming through our taxes. It's absolutely coming from our taxes. But in the long run,
then you want socialist system then.
I don't think it's socialist. I really don't. But if you want to call it that, go right ahead. I want every American to be able to have guaranteed medical care. I don't want anybody going without medication because of the cost.
America is not England. America is not Canada.
America could be.
is not a socialist country.
It's not about
Government
socialism.
should not be running health care.
What you have right now is private health insurance companies running health care. And how great of a bang-up job are they doing for you? How many people do you know who have suffered?
How well is the government doing with other stuff? Now you want them to handle the health care?
I want to get the bureaucracy out of health care. I want the health care be decided by the doctors. It's not about paying. It's not about approval anymore. There's no more approval. There's no more middleman. Your doctor says you need this, you get it, and it's paid for. End of discussion.
Yeah, but that's coming out of somebody else's pocket.
Instead of you paying $200, $300, my mom's paying $800 a month in a premium. Instead of you having $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Care. Why should I pay for your care?
That's ridiculous. You don't think you're doing that now? Do you pay a premium? Who do you think you're paying? Who do you think you're paying? You're paying for anybody's care. You pay that premium, but you're paying a premium.
I pay for my care.
You're paying for a premium.
Care.
No, you pay for everybody else's. You're paying a premium. You're paying a deductible. You're paying a copay. You add all of that up, and you are paying a fortune. And you would pay a fraction of the cost.
You're going to take it from insurance and shift it over to the government.
You get rid of the insurance companies altogether. You allow medical providers to.
I don't think you really understand what you're talking about, and I think it's too socialist for America.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but you can hang up all you like. The truth is this: medical decisions should be made by our providers, ourselves, and our families. Nobody else should have their nose involved in your medical care. If we're all paying, like my buddy lives in the Netherlands, they all pay one payment for their insurance, but it's everything. It's their health insurance, it's their third-party insurance, it's their dental insurance, it's their mental health insurance. He's paying $150 a month. He's had to have drains put into his lung, stage 4 breast cancer, metastatic to the lung, huge tumor. He didn't get ignored. He didn't get told he couldn't have the medication. The medication was delivered to his door. The doctor ordered it. It came to his door. The doctor came to his door. He's never been turned down for a dang thing. He gets all the care he needs. And that's how it should be in this country. You should get all the care you need, decided by medical professionals, not bureaucrats. You get rid of insurance companies and watch the price of medicine go down.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get haters, but I'm done with private insurance companies saying whether or not you can get chemo.
Well, a big something that really shifted my thinking was, it was a few years ago now on the show, and I got pretty animated about it. People talked about it for a while after this happened, but it was a Monday, and I had just I remember because it was over the weekend. I had read something online about how I'd read this article really in depth about people who start GoFundMe accounts, GoFundMe campaigns, and to pay for medical treatment, people who had been diagnosed with cancer, and they were trying to raise money online to pay for medical treatment, and which shouldn't happen in America, shouldn't happen anywhere, shouldn't have to be that way. But then what I was really horrified to learn, and I didn't realize, and I was completely naive to this, is that a very large percentage of the people who do that, it's not that they don't have health insurance. They're uninsured and they happen to get diagnosed. It's in many cases, they do have health insurance and they had what they thought was full coverage. But then insurance companies find excuses to deny certain treatments. And so people end up dying unnecessarily. The other thing I would just say to address the callers, it's very, no offense to the caller, I appreciate the call. I appreciate everyone who calls, whether they agree, disagree, or whatever. But I find when people throw the word socialism around, again, I say this respectfully, it's probably the most intellectually lazy way to try to argue about this stuff. I mean, we can have conversations, and we do, about, what the government should and should not be involved in, and how much the government should or should not be involved in things. And those are important conversations to have. But unfortunately, somewhere, I feel like it's probably coming up on a decade now. Americans like to think of politics, and I'm sure it's not unique to America. I'm sure it's like this everywhere, probably. It's probably just part of the human condition. But people like to think politics in a very hyper-simplified and reductive way. So when people talk about this kind of stuff, they get into this argument of, well, we can either have capitalism or we can have socialism. And it's really pretty... Again, it's reductive, and it's just a lazy way of thinking about it. Because the truth is, we have both. We've always had both. We always will have both. We live in a country that has a great deal of, look, I consider myself a free market capitalist. But we also have social programs. The most popular social program in the history of the United States has it right in the name, Social Security. So for anyone who wants to argue, well, we can't have any socialism. Well, do you want to get rid of Social Security? And by the way, there are people who do. There are people who are so sociopathic and care so little about other human beings that they'd be fine with letting people who depend on it just starve to death and be homeless and whatnot. And I understand that. I think it's too bad, but I understand that that's the reality of it. I'm not saying that about the caller. I kind of suspect that that's probably the caller's attitude, just given the caller's limited
language.
What was presented during that call. I imagine that the caller probably is fine with poor
what's interesting
people
about that, though?
Suffering and dying. But I just want to make the point, though, when somebody says, well, that sounds like socialism to me. Well, number one, we do have a lot of socialism. We also have a lot of capitalism. And in the United States, I would argue, we have far more capitalism than we do socialism. But there is, if you're going to have any degree of government, you're going to have social programs to help people. And I happen to think that that's a good thing. But when people dismiss it as, well, that sounds like socialism, let me tell you something. The government is already, if your argument is, just to add to that, if your argument is, well, I don't want the government involved in healthcare, the government's already very much involved in healthcare. The government is already very much involved in regulating in many different ways healthcare and what medications are approved and this and that. The government's, and of course we have programs like Medicare and Medicaid. The government is, and the VA, to take care of veterans. So the government's already very much involved. But the one underlying principle that I have, that I've always had, is this: we live in the most successful, most innovative, most prosperous country in the history of the world. There is no reason why in this country anyone should have to fall through the cracks. There is no reason. And to allow people to fall through the cracks, I know some people think, well, that's just freedom and that's liberty. And no, to allow people to fall through the cracks is immoral and unethical. And I'm all for freedom and liberty and small government. I'm a small government guy. Believe it or not, and many of you will not believe this, in some ways I'm actually a small government conservative. But I take a moral stand on this. There's no one should have to fall through the cracks or worry about not getting the care that they need.
For one thing, I'm sorry, but you're one cancer diagnosis away from being me. You pay your premium now and you have what you consider good health care. But the minute you become a cancer patient and you lose your job and you lose that health insurance, your whole world changes, because now you can't access anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. For one thing. For another thing, right now I've got too much government in medicine, because there's so much going on with the insurance companies and how this is supposed to work and that's supposed to work and how approval this and approval that. Well, we get rid of that and I get government out of my exam room. And my exam room now has my doctor, me, and my family, and we make the choices for my care. Mm-hmm. We gave veterans a card to allow them to be able to go anywhere for care, which is how it should be. And it's working. And they get to choose. And they don't have to go to one specific place anymore or get moved like vets used to get moved constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a national healthcare system where you have a card where you don't have $5,000 copays, or you have to shop to try and find an MRI, or you're paying damn near $1,000 in premium and you still get a $35 copay on that drug and $150 on this drug, and you can't afford it. So, like our friend who has diabetes and only buys 6 vials of insulin instead of 7 because they can't afford it. So they ration it. We wouldn't be rationing healthcare like we do now, because that's what we do now. We ration it.
Melanie said in the chat, so poor people deserve to die. I think that was in response to the caller. And well, there are people who think that. I mean, again, there are.
Oh, yes.
There are people.
I don't want to pay for you, like the guy said.
There are people who just, well, in a broader sense too, there are people who just genuinely hate poor people. I mean, well, it's
because they never see that they can be there. When I got cancer, I had 5.5 acres of land.
Yeah,
I had quite a large house. So, I was working as a full-time EMT and a first responder volunteering in my town. I worked in a hospital full-time. I had multiple jobs. And I was the person that came to your door when you called 911.
Yeah.
Till I got cancer.
Yep.
Till it took me out. Till I lost my job. I lost my house. I lost my land. I sold everything. I did GoFundMes to afford treatment.
Yeah.
We've been there. We've done that. And if you want to learn more about this kind of stuff, I'll tell you. I want to make sure I get this in because I promised Heather I would. This Wednesday, May 17th at 6 p.m. at the Red River Theater in Concord, there's going to be a film showing American Hospitals Healing a Broken System. It's a film screening. There'll be a panel discussion. It starts at 6 p.m. at the Red River Theater. Come talk about these things. Come talk about healthcare. And this is free. This event is free. There's going to be refreshments being served. All you got to do is register. I'm going to drop the link into our chat group. The link will be available on I'll put it on Matt Connaughton Unleashed, of course. If you want, and you can sign up, you can go to this. It's free. Go listen, have an honest discussion, ask some questions, and start looking into what's going on a bit more. I'm tired of seeing people get denied care and treatment. Aren't you?
Well, let's, we are nearing the top of the hour, and I see that there are musicians in the hallway.
Are there butting heads?
There are musicians out there. So we've got Frankie Boy and the Blues Express. Is that the name correct?
Yeah.
They're going to be coming in and playing live in studio for us in just a few minutes, and we'll talk to them. We'll get to know them a bit. So there's plenty more to come, and I think going into the break, I'm going to play a song from this band, Oberon. They are from Italy, and they are going to be joining us Skyping in tomorrow. So I'll play one of their studio tracks from them. They've got a song called Time to Sleep that I really like. It's instrumental. It's pretty cool. Good stuff. And speaking of musicians really quickly too, I just want to give a shout out to Brooklyn Mike, who was on the morning show this morning, the morning show with Peter White. And,
amazing.
He came in and he played live, and it was really good.
I was
really
loving that this morning. I was like, I don't want the show to end.
Yeah.
You got to come in again. You got to come see us.
Absolutely.
I really want to see you come play with us, please.
Absolutely. But here's something from Oberon. We're going to play this. We're going to show some love to our amazing sponsors. And then when we come back, we will have Frankie Boy and the Blues Express with us live on Matt Connaughton Unleashed. Plenty to come. Don't go away. Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Kitchen to Life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody. We are well in hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, and hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Monday, May 15, 2023. Jenny is here as well at the news desk.
Present and accounted for.
And we have a band here with us. Really looking forward to these guys playing. They're going to play, and then we're going to talk afterward. And we've got Frankie Boy and the Blues Express here. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Doing quite all right.
We'll do we got to do a mic check here on the fly. So, Frankie, you're there in the corner.
Yes.
Oh, good. I can hear you. Go ahead and strum something, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. And we have Mickey on bass. How are you, sir?
Hello. Doing good.
Let's see here. Go ahead and play something if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, that sounds nice. I'm a bass player, so I dig it.
Right on.
And let's see, we have Harrison on the drum set there with the brushes. I like the brushes.
Brushes, we have all kinds of knickknacks in here, all kinds of stuff.
Let's see, I got to figure out how to. Okay. What do you have over there? Say that again.
We got all kinds of knickknacks.
Oh, here we go.
Brushes, sticks, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just playing with the mic here. All right, I think that'll work. Okay. All right. Cool. So what we'll do is, if you guys will looking forward to hearing you play. If you want to play some tunes for us, and then afterward we'll chit chat a bit, get to know you guys, and but I'm really looking forward to hearing you play.
Same here.
Let's do it.
Sounds like a plan.
What you got, Frankie?
Well, we got to play one for our friend, our mentor, Mr. Guitar Jr. This is a new song that you will find on our upcoming album, an album that's going to be called Young Man's Blues. So we'd like to present to you a song we wrote called Guitar Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you a story about a blues man from back in the day. Started in Mississippi, but Chicago paved his way. He said, "Mama, you buy me a guitar, I promise I'll take care of you." He left home when he was 16 years old. He went on down to Chicago to play the blues, man. Ow! Guitar Junior, Guitar Junior, Guitar Junior, we play the blues for you. Ow! Ladies and gentlemen, this is a song in memory of our good friend, Mr. Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson. And although his body has left this world, I promise you his spirits are alive and well. Ow! He bought that amp man. He bought a guitar too. He got with Muddy Waters. Then he got with you. Time went on, as time will do. Then he got with me, people. He said, "Frankie, I want you to play the blues." Yeah, I got to squeeze one for Junior, man.
Oh my God, you guys sound incredible.
Thank you so very much.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Wow.
If you're just joining us, we have Frankie and the, Frankie
Boy.
Frankie Boy and the Blues Express. Yeah, I forgot the where does the name come from, Frankie Boy?
Well, I started going out to the blues jams when I was 16 years old. And when you're the only 16-year-old in the room, they call you boy.
Okay.
So I got the name. Johnny B. Savoni used to host the jam I went to at the Roma in Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And he said, "Frankie Boy." And he just kept saying it, and everybody started calling me Frankie Boy.
And it stuck. Huh.
And then I added blues at the end of it. So my stage name is technically Frankie Boy Blues.
Oh, okay.
So that way, because there's a lot of Frankie Boys in the world, I got to be a little different, right?
Gotcha.
You know?
But Frankie Boy Blues and the Blues Express would be a little much, right? So it's just Frankie Boy and the Blues Express. Yeah,
a little much.
Frankie's a little much.
A little much.
No, you guys sound great. Yeah, if you want to play another one for us, I would love it.
I'd love to. Let's do one in honor of another friend, a man by the name of David D. And I got to go to St. Louis when I was on tour with Eliza Niels. And I got to meet this gentleman down at the International Blues Museum, and he taught me how to play this little thing called Going Fishing. It happens to be an original song by David D. So let's play a little tribute to David, who passed away not too long ago as well.
Baby, she said I'm going fishing, baby. 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 To relieve this pressure on my mind. You know, she said I've been kind of busy. You hasn't had much time. I need something to do to occupy my mind. I've got what I need, baby. She said I know just what to do. She said I haven't been fishing lately, but I believe my hook's to you good. She said I'm going fishing, baby. 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 To relieve this pressure on my mind. You know she woke me up real early. She said I can't be late. I got to get on down there. The fish just won't wait. I don't know where she's going fishing, people. I don't know what kind of bait she's gonna use. She had on a pretty little red dress, mama, and a brand new pair of shoes. She said I'm going fishing, baby. 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 To relieve this pressure on my mind. Busy, you haven't had much time. I need something to do to occupy my mind. I've got what I need, baby. She said I know just what to do. She said I could catch me another fish, Frankie, same way I called you. She said I'm going fishing, baby. 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 To relieve this pressure on my mind. Ow!
Very nice, very nice. Frankie Boy and the Blues Express is with us here on Matt Connerton Unleashed, and you guys are getting a lot of love in the Facebook live chat.
That was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody's digging it. Our friend Melanie was asking, Mickey, what does your shirt say?
Oh, my shirt says Danielle Nicole.
Is that a band?
I didn't know they could see us too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Danielle Nicole band. Danielle Nicole's, in my opinion, one of the best artists in this country right now. One of my favorites.
Where are they from? Are they from around here?
St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. What
you need to check them out.
Yeah,
definitely.
What do they sound like?
Blues, original, like
blues soul.
Yeah, blues soul, kind of funky.
Okay. Yeah.
If you ever heard of Trampled Underfoot.
Yes.
She's the bass player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
cool.
that was their family band.
Okay.
This is her own original project.
Gotcha.
One of the best singers I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, no kidding.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And bass players.
Very nice.
Yes.
To check her out.
Well, you guys want to play another one? I'm dying to hear more.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
All right.
I didn't know they could see me.
Yeah,
you're actually everywhere right now.
I got a great face for radio.
We got that. It's funny, Melanie, the way she worded the question in the chat room, she said, what does the beard man on the couch's shirt say?
Hi, I'm now Beard Man.
There you go.
Nice.
Well, the only problem is everyone has beards now, so it's like everyone's beard man.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
except for
me.
except for Harrison over there.
I'm still struggling because I'm 12.
There you go.
It's fine.
You have plenty of hair on top, though.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm a chia pet. So.
There you go. All right. Yeah. What do you guys? Yeah. Go ahead. Whatever you want to play. I'm just dying to hear more.
All right. I guess you brought up kind of my name, where I got it from. So I used to go to the Roma in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And around that time, 16 years old, I also got to go see Buddy Guy play at Hampton Beach Casino, man. And that night he sang a song called Who's Gonna Fill Those Shoes? So 16-year-old me went home, wrote a song called Young Man's Blues, which will be the title track of our upcoming album, Young Man's Blues. So I'd like to squeeze that one out for you real quick.
All right.
The blues. Saying I'm a young man, yeah. You know I got my share of the blues. I fell in love and in hate, yeah. And it's sure gon' give me the blues. Well, you know, Mr. Buddy Guy, always talking about who's gonna fill those shoes, yeah. You saying Mr. Buddy Guy, yeah. He's always talking about who's gonna fill those shoes, yes. Well, you know, Mr. Buddy Guy, you know we came down here to swap some with you. Ow! Play the blues, y'all. Young man, you know Guitar Junior taught me how to play the blues. Said I'm a young man, yeah. You know Luther Guitar Junior Johnson taught me how to play the blues. He said just like Muddy Waters taught me how to do it, son, I wanna teach you how to do it too.
You got to excuse me while I squeeze one for Junior. You know I paid some dues to play the blues. Said I'm a young man. You know I paid some dues to play the blues. Felt love, pain, and hate, yeah. And it's sure gonna give me the blues.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Frankie Boy and the Blues Express.
Outstanding.
You guys,
thank you.
Do you guys want to play one more, and then we'll have a little bit of time after to talk?
Of course.
That sounds good. Cool.
You want to flip and flop them?
Sure. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
We're doing an awful lot of talking about Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson. For anybody out there who doesn't know who he is, you need to look him up. I highly recommend you look him up anyway. He was in the Blues Brothers movie, played with Muddy Waters for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of my best friends on earth. Taught me a lot in 24 years. Time.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, incredible musician, even more incredible human. Super spiritual. So we got some major influence by him. Without him, certainly wouldn't be doing what we're doing here.
Okay.
That's true.
Wow.
We're going to do a little Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson song, and then it turns into a little bit of Frankie Boy song. So... yeah.
All right, cool.
Our version.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole round world but me. Went walking all night before. Went walking all night before. I can't find my baby, I'll be walking some more. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole round world but me. That's not true, I got Harrison. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole round world but me. Come here, baby, sit down on my knee. Sit right here, baby, sit down on my knee. Got something down there, bugging the hell out of me. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I'm flipping and flopping like a fish out in the sea. I ain't got nobody in this whole round world but me. How about you, Frankie?
woman and she's so mean to me. You better smarten up, baby, cause you only get one of me. Well, I was driving around town in my 55, yes. You would accuse the thing that I ever did see tonight. I'm so glad you're my baby, cause all you wanna do is fight, girl. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. Said I got a woman and she's so mean to me.
It's the truth, y'all.
You been smarten up, baby, cause you only get one of me, girl. Well, she put me in the doghouse, what? I don't know. I guess she should've bought her clothes and a brand new radio. You know, she said she wanna leave me, but she got no place to go, no. Well, said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. I said I got a woman and she's so mean to me. You better smarten up, baby, cause you only get one of me.
Can I add a little note onto that?
Yes.
If anybody out there listening, you find yourself in a bad relationship, whether it's at home, it's at work, it's amongst your friends, it's amongst whoever. As far as near as I can tell, this life's about being happy, right? You find yourself in a bad relationship, fix it. Fix it.
It's good advice. Good advice. Yeah, yeah.
Unsolicited, but the way I believe.
Well, now, do you guys you have a CD? Do you have one with you? I can pop in. We'll play a studio track and we'll get you guys resituated so we can chat for a few minutes. Let's see here.
Do you guys play out a lot?
Yeah, quite a bit.
This is a radio first, by the way. I've never used this CD player in the studio.
And it's never been played on a radio.
Really?
It's not out yet. It's not out yet. This is brand new.
This is what we like to call a world radio premiere.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, now this should
Pulling out my inner.
Oh, it works. Nice. This sounds good. So we'll let this play for a minute and then we'll come back and we'll talk with these guys. Don't go away.
I want to tell you a little story about a blues man from back in the day. Started in Mississippi, where Chicago paved his way. He said, "Mama, you buy me a guitar, and I'll take care of you." Left home when he was 16 years old to sweet home Chicago to play the blues. Guitar Junior, Guitar Junior, Guitar Junior, we play the blues for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a song in memory of our good friend, Mr. Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson. Although his body has left this world, I promise you his spirits are alive and well. We got his guitar in the studio right now, and to be singing for you, man. We got Luther's guitar amp too. He bought that amp, man. He bought that guitar too. He caught up with Muddy Waters, then he got with you. Time went on, as time will do. Then he got with me, people. He said, "Frankie, I want you to play
Oh, that is so good. Guitar Junior, Frankie Boy, and the Blues Express, and we've got the guys from the band here in studio with us, and that is a world radio premiere of that song. So that's never been heard. This is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Well, we are honored. We are honored. So we've got the guys here, Frankie Boy Blues and Mickey and Harrison. And how long have you guys been together as a band? Because you sound tight. I assume it's been a while.
3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's been with me. I think it's been 2
years.
About 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys sound great. If you missed it, by the way, if you're just joining us, these guys played live in studio for us, and it was just amazing. So make sure you go back and listen to the podcast if you missed the live performance. And we have a call. I think one of your new fans might be on the line. Hi, welcome to the show. Who's this?
It's Ridley.
Oh, Dave Ridley. Oh, I didn't recognize the number. Dave, are you calling? Do you have a question for the band?
No, I don't have internet access right now, so sorry, I'm calling it at the wrong time. I'll call in some other time.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Dave. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Big surprise.
That was our friend Dave Ridley. Anyway.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
But yeah, if you missed it, these guys sound phenomenal, and the CD sounds great too. We listened to that one song, but you've got 13 songs on here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when is this going to be coming out officially?
Hopefully a few weeks.
A few weeks, okay.
That's the plan. We need it done by June, and June's not many weeks away.
Right. Now, why by June? Why the deadline?
We got a lot going on.
When things pick up,
Yeah. You playing out a lot? You're going to be playing a lot this summer?
Lots of
We
gigs.
are.
Yeah,
Cool.
all over the place.
Cool. Have you always been very busy as a touring act? Have you always played a lot of shows, or?
We haven't really toured yet.
Yeah, we haven't toured
this
too
is
much.
the beginning. We're growing. We're spreading our wings.
Cool. Okay. All right.
We play out once or twice a week.
Excellent.
And then some weeks of the summer, we got 7 days in a row.
Sweet.
Bike week. We're going to Wake the Lake this weekend, Laconia.
Oh, cool.
Tower Hill Tavern on the Weirs. Wake the Lake, we're there Friday night.
Yep.
Tower Hill Tavern upstairs and Saturday outside.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. How many how many originals do you guys have as far as are these all originals on the album, or some of these covers? I didn't.
There's some covers on there. I'd say it's a mix of covers and originals.
Yeah.
Definitely some original arrangements to songs that have been done before.
Okay.
You will find on that record.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, nothing on there sounds like an original, like the original if it's a cover.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something in terms of approaching songs like that, where you take a song and you kind of I don't know, reverse engineer it, or I heard that term recently, or make it your own? Is that something you do consciously when you're approaching it, or does it just kind of happen organically?
I'd go with the organically side of things. 2 of the songs on there in particular, one of them was a riff I came up playing by myself in the room. Played it with these guys a few times live. By the 3rd or 4th time we played it, they said, "When are you going to sing over that thing?" And went to a gig the following week and started singing some Luther Guitar Junior Johnson lyrics over it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Another song on there, we were playing a gig with a friend of ours named Dominic Cole, 15-year-old drum phenomenon. He's amazing. And it was our first gig we did with him, so he was getting new to the blues stuff that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So Mickey looks at me and says, play something rock, and he's real good at the rock stuff. So I just kicked into these kind of Jimi Hendrix chords. I knew he'd sound good.
Yeah.
And a few weeks later, I was singing Engine Number 9 over the same chords,
Yeah, yeah.
So they just happened.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. It seems like with this genre, and not just blues, but I think this is probably true with jam bands and some other things too. But you can really take things and kind of change them and make them your own in a way that's that you can't necessarily do with other genres of music. When you play live, does that happen where maybe are some of these songs, do they sound very different from one show to the next? Is there a lot of sort of
At
improvisation
times.
that goes on?
Well, we've never had a band rehearsal.
Really?
So every song that we play, we learn together on stage in front of people. Every
kidding.
single one of them.
Oh, that's wild.
We're going to start rehearsing sometime soon when we're ready.
Yeah.
But we haven't yet.
It doesn't seem like you need to. Like it seems like it's working pretty well.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Blues is a language.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a language. If you learn the language, you can play it with anybody. It's like speaking a different language.
Yeah.
If you speak Spanish, you don't have to ask somebody if they speak Spanish. You just start a conversation.
Right.
Blues is the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And I think, Mickey, you had made the comment off air, I think, that you guys, this is your first time doing this acoustic? Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, we've never done an acoustic show or an acoustic set.
Yeah. Is it much of an adjustment, or I mean, in terms of your approach to playing, or
no?
I mean, you seem comfortable with it, so
Yeah.
Definitely for me, I'm like, I normally have probably at least 2 extra cymbals and then 2 toms.
Yeah.
So I got like pretty bare bones right here with just this hi-hat, snare, and bass drum. But
Yeah.
I love doing that kind of stuff because one of my favorite drummers of all time is Nate Smith, and he plays for Fearless Flyers and a bunch of different groups. He has his own solo acts and whatnot, but he does this exact setup for Fearless Flyers. It's literally just bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat, and it really challenges you as a drummer to just like focus on pocket or get creative with what you got, because you got literally the beef and the bones, like, you know,
Right.
this is the whole peanut butter sandwich right here. That's how I
Right,
look at
right.
it, you know, if talking about food and, you know, bringing food into this, but yeah,
Are you hungry, Harrison? Are you
yeah,
hungry?
actually, yeah, no, but yeah, it's so I like playing on this kind of setup. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do more of stuff like this. I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. Is it a challenge to how did you put it exactly? To be more creative with less, or
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you're being more you're confined to a smaller box, but it's fun to work within a box because it's like, you know, it gives you like an area to work within, and it forces you to be creative with what you got.
Yeah.
So I end up like doing things that I've never done before on a set like this, which is super fun because it's like that's kind of the same thing that we do when we play live. Like when we play songs, it's like we'll play certain songs and certain things will come out at times when we're like, when the hell did we start playing it like that? And it's like, and that's what's super fun about the shows with Frankie. It's like you show up to a show. You could go to like all of our shows at Bike Week this year, and you would get something different each night.
Yeah.
So and that's what's really enjoyable about it. So I'm getting that right here in the studio with this little kit. So
Yeah.
I love the improv thing. So
Very cool. Very cool. Do you guys play really long? I mean, I assume you can probably do like a 3-hour set, right? Do the whole
We do
evening
4-hour
somewhere?
sets
4
pretty
hours.
frequently.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that ever get exhausting, or it probably just kind of flies by, right? I would imagine.
Yeah. We often have been pushing 2 or 2.5 hours before we take a break.
No kidding.
And you know what? When the music's right,
Yeah.
and playing with these guys, the music's always right.
Yeah.
2.5 hours goes by like 20 minutes.
Yeah, when it feels good, you don't want to stop.
Right.
And then you look at your phone and you go, "Wow, we've been at this for 2.5 hours. Let's take a break." You know.
Do you make any kind of a set list, or do you not bother?
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I don't plan on doing it.
Yeah.
I just feel the room.
Yeah.
You know, if the whole room's staring at you, you just got to go and you got to give them something and catch their attention. And if you can get it, you know,
Hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are there other bands in the area? Is there anybody else in the area who's doing what you're doing and approaching it this way? Because it seems like, you know, we have a lot of musical guests on the show, but I don't think we've had anybody quite like you guys on the show.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
No, most, from what I know tons of musicians. There's a ton of incredible musicians in New England, in New Hampshire specifically.
Yeah.
Most bands have rehearsals all the time and have set lists and do whatever.
Yeah.
We're blues trained.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blues trained by some really, really serious mentors.
Yep.
Really serious mentors. Right here in Manchester, Howard Randall, who's been run the Strange Brew Jam for 24 years. Jerry, the Reverend Paquette Cantu Blues Band. That's my godfather. Talk about a mentoring.
Wow.
Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson, of course.
Yeah.
Like if anybody's ever played blues and they've gotten the look before, when you get a look, means you're doing something wrong. Fix it right now. Willie J. Laws, one of my dear mentors.
Yeah.
When you're mentored in blues, like I had a conversation. Frankie mentioned Dominic. Dominic just played a gig with us over this weekend, and Dominic started sitting in with us at 7 years old.
Wow.
Incredible drummer. He just turned 15 years old. He's full-time gigging right now in the Bob Pratt Band.
Wow.
And what I explained to him about blues is you can sit home and practice all day long. You can practice the blues stuff all day long. You're not learning the real stuff unless you're playing it out on stage with blues players.
Yeah.
Because it's all about what it feels. Mm-hmm. Not how you rehearsed it at home, not how the record sounds. It's about how it feels right now.
Yeah.
That's it.
That makes sense. Yeah. Now, have any of you guys played in other genres or other bands that maybe did something little? You have, Harrison?
Yeah. I have another project right now called River Sang Wild, which is more of a alternative indie rock band.
Yeah.
And we play pretty much the same areas as Frankie does, like the New England, just in general, regional, basically.
Yeah.
Regional band, not a touring act yet, but working on it kind of thing. So.
Okay.
And it's just. Yeah, so I like dipping into that, but I've liked playing all kinds of stuff. I feel like with Frankie, I'm a bit more. I kind of cascade through more because it's like funk, soul, blues, swing, like all kinds of stuff. So sometimes we can get like anything from like Engine Number 9 when we play a song like that. That's more on like the rock, like heavy in your face kind of side.
Yeah,
and then like we'll have something that's like
Bob Marley.
flipping and flop. Or to Bob Marley too.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra, which challenges me because it's like I have to know like how to set the mood in my head, like when I'm playing, like, all right, how am I going to approach this, you know?
Right.
And it's like I'm being given so many colors to work with that it's really fun to do that. So I'd say like, but it's like even when we do the swing stuff or even like a reggae tune or something that's like really funky, I feel like my approach in general is I like to have more of that rock and roll energy brought into it, no matter what it is, because to me I just like that bold, in your face, like bombastic, borderline annoying, and I think that's like any drummer really. But that's how I like to kind of approach stuff, and I feel like when we play, it's like it doesn't matter if we're playing a waltz or like or something that's like Engine Number 9 or something in your face, more rock or Jimi Hendrix like. It's always going to be rock and roll energy brought to it in my head. That's how I interpret it. But it's so.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, we're actually almost out of time. So I want to make sure before we run out of time, and I want to get this this song. And Mickey, you had asked me to play this track, Something About You.
You know what? They've both mentioned Engine Number 9 a few times. How about we give them Engine Number 9?
We'll do that. Okay, cool.
Track 8, I think.
Yeah, track 8. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll play that when we wrap up in a moment. But before we wrap up, I want to make sure that our listeners know where to find you guys online, where they should go to keep up with everything that you're doing, and how they can get the CD when it comes out, where they should go, anything they should know.
Well, tonight we're going to Lisa Geyer's Monday Muse right down the street, Londonderry.
Okay.
So people can go see us for real.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
But
in the flesh.
Frankie Boy and the Blues Express, Facebook.
Yeah, we're on Facebook right now. Frankie Boy Blues is on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Our website is almost done.
Oh.
So when the website is officially released, FrankieBoyBlues.com.
Excellent.
You can't mess it up.
Excellent.
And everything's following that as well, where you're like I said, you're seeing the beginnings of whatever we're going to turn this into, and we hope
a world touring enterprise.
We want to bring it all around the world, and pay tribute to our friend Guitar Jr. for teaching us how to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. You sound amazing, and it's wonderful to meet you and have you in studio. So
thank you.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
In a moment, we will end with that track, Engine Number 9. But Jenny, thank you, of course. And tomorrow you'll be in Washington, D.C.
I shall, and you can check me out on jencoffey.com, JENNCOFFEY. www.datelimit.com, and I will come back and give you all a full report.
Very good. Now, as we conclude, I just have, because I've never used a CD player before today, I have to figure out how to get to track number 8. Let's see.
He's got to figure out which button to push.
Lots
of
should I drum roll?
I think I found it.
I don't know.
Oh. All right, I figured it out.
Okay.
All right, very cool.
I saw a red light. I thought, oh no, we're in trouble.
Except
we're in trouble.
No, I got it. We're good. All right. Guys, thank you again so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And if you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. And don't forget, be back bright and early tomorrow, 7 a.m. for the morning show with Peter White. And if you get a chance, check out today's morning show with Peter White. It is in the archive. And our friend Brooklyn Mike was on, speaking of musicians, and he did an amazing job. He performed live on the morning show. So lots of music around here, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But we will end with this. This is Engine Number 9 from Frankie Blue and the Blues Express to close out today's Matt Connerton Unleashed. Oh, that's not it. Here we go.
Doesn't sound bluey.
Here we go.
Bluesy. Okay.